All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is Robbie Fox, and I am here with Dana White ahead of UFC 318 this weekend. Very exciting card. Obviously, the retirement of Dustin Poirier, the BMF title fight in the main event. I want to know, how were the first discussions around this card? Like, how did it come about where you said, let's build a card around a fighter's retirement in his hometown?
Well, when we found out that Poirier wanted to fight there, we haven't been there in a long time, obviously. Of course, we're going to, this kid's done so many great things in the UFC, and he's one of the guys that we really like and respect, as is Max. So then once you get that fight set and it's for the BMF title, what do? You build a BMF card. So the entire card is stacked with ridiculous, badass fights.
When Poirier comes to you and says he wants to retire, he wants it to be in Lafayette, he wants to be in Louisiana, do you say immediately, okay, this is going to headline a pay-per-view and we'll build a card around this? Or is it it takes two to tango once you realize, okay, we could do the Max Holloway fight, put the BMF title on the line? Did that propel it to like pay-per-view status?
Well, yeah, once you hear it, we get in the room every Tuesday and we start hammering out what we think it should be, what we think we should do. And then we end up here.
Does any part of you not worry, but think, oh, once Max Holloway accepts this fight and goes into enemy territory with Poirier, we're going to have to do this UFC Hawaii card eventually and give it to Max?
No, not at all. The UFC Hawaii card is a challenge. Believe me, nobody would rather go to Hawaii than me and pull off an event. I would love to do it. It's been very challenging over the last, however many years. But
I know Max is always calling for it.
And I don't know if Max is going into enemy territory. I mean, both of these guys are so beloved by everybody. This is one of those fights, is going to be a badass fight, and you're bummed out that somebody has to lose it.
Yeah, we talked to Max earlier in the week, and I said the same thing. I said, do you feel like you're going to enemy territory? Because I don't know any MMA fans that want to boo Max Holloway. Even if you're the biggest Dustin Poirier fan in the world, I don't think he's going to get boozed this Saturday.
Never come across an MMA fan that didn't love Max Holloway.
Yeah. And in terms of like legacy, obviously Holloway, multiple-time champion and whatnot, but Poirier had quotes this week where he was like, yeah, listen, I came up short. I never won a title in my career. That's okay. I have a legacy that, outside of that, essentially. Personally, I feel like maybe I know your answer to this, but do you put more stock into the legacy of a fighter that went in and put on wars time in and time out over, a fighter that went in, let's say they won a title, but didn't have the most exciting resume?
I wouldn't put him over a guy who's won a title. I wouldn't put anybody over anybody. I mean, if you look at Max Holloway, he's talking about retiring right now. The top 15 of the lightweight division is absolute killers. And him and Max are ranked number 5 and 6 in the world, and he's talking about retiring. And if you look at his last 11 fights, I think 7 of them were former world champions. So, this guy's created his own legacy in a different way.
Yeah. This past weekend, you put Derrick Lewis on the phone with Trump after that win. And it was such a funny moment. It looked chaotic. What was that brief, 30 seconds like in between Derrick Lewis running over and being like, where's Trump? And you getting him on the line?
Yeah, he started yelling, where's the president? Where's the president? I said, he's not here, but he's watching. I was texting with him earlier. So I called Trump. He answered. It was late as hell. And I put Derrick on the phone with him.
Do you just say like Derrick Lewis wants to say, hey, real quick?
Yeah, I said, Mr. President, Derrick Lewis, he's watching the fight anyway. Derrick Lewis just won. He's looking for you and wants to talk to you. So I handed him the phone. I still don't know what they talked about. I didn't ask. None of my business. But, yeah.
Such a funny moment. And people were talking about that win. Obviously, a huge win for Derrick Lewis. Do you think that could propel him into the title conversation at heavyweight? Tom Aspinall seems like he needs new opponents, fresh opponents, right, at all times. Do you feel like that did enough to put him in that conversation?
Well, I think it's the beautiful thing about the heavyweight division is that, these guys are always one punch away from being right back in it. And Derrick Lewis is fun, exciting. And you saw the footage of him leading up. He trained his ass off for that fight. He was in good shape, and nobody expected that fight to go 5 rounds anyway. But yeah, I mean, he's definitely in a good spot. The rankings didn't come out yet. I think they come out today or tomorrow, but, right now he sits number 9. So we'll see what you guys think, where he sits after Saturday night.
How do you feel about the rankings right now? I know a few months ago you were having issues with them. You didn't like how they were. Do you feel like you're
Yeah,
overall happy with the rankings right now?
Yeah, listen, they're okay. I think there's some weird shit in the rankings, but when I see it, I call it out.
Mhm.
Like when I was saying Jon Jones should be the number one pound for pound fighter in the world, he should have been. That's a fact. And then there's been a couple other things that didn't make sense to me. But now, if you look where Max Holloway is, that was one of the ones I bitched about at one point. Yeah, I'm good. I have my moments, but I'm good.
Yeah. And talking about Jon Jones, he tweeted that he's back in the testing pool. Is that true? Is he back? It's like a snip, snap, snip, snap.
I think so. Yeah, he's back. He did call and said, "Hey, I want to get back in the pool." And then it was public. I'm assuming he's back in the pool. I haven't checked.
Yeah. Wow. Crazy. Does he call you and tell you that? Or it's just he calls someone at the UFC?
Yeah, he texted me and Hunter. Yeah.
Gotcha. Crazy. Wild times in the world of Jon Jones, as always, I guess.
Yep.
And then speaking of Trump, the White House card that he came out and said, we're going to look to do this big White House card. We've been talking about it. It almost feels like it could be the next like sphere card in terms of nobody knows what to anticipate. Nobody knows what to visualize. Is this something that you talked about and kind of like hammered out the details of, and then it was announced, or was it announced and it's like, let's figure out the details now?
Well said and great question. So I'm up at my house like every year in Maine at 4th of July. And I had texted with him 3 or 4 times that day, and he never told me he was announcing it. And then all of a sudden, my phone just starts blowing up. And then I start blowing Lene up, and we're all going. But we had already done, all the logistics. My team went out there and walked it. We're putting together the renderings. They should be done in the next 10 days. And then we're going to fly out to the White House and present it to him, see what he likes and what he doesn't like, and start working on it. And Ivanka is in the middle of this too. So we will, this is a sphere, one of one unique event that will never happen again. And I will blow the doors off this thing. I'm going to make this one of the greatest events of all time.
And are you thinking a full card, like full prelims, full main card, or just like a couple fights?
Nope. It'll be a full card, and it will be the best card we've ever done to date.
Wow. And we're talking on the lawn of the White House?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as of right now, it's set to be on the south lawn. He said we can move it over somewhere else for more people. I don't care if 5 people show up to this thing. I want to be on the lawn at the White House.
Right. Yeah. You care more about that than the attendance if it's a one-off. Yeah.
Yep.
That's crazy. That's going to be wild. And obviously you're now in the boxing game. Since the last time we've talked, we haven't talked about you now being a boxing promoter. I mean, we talked about it years ago, and when we were thinking of this was going to get going. Has there been anything big that surprised you since getting into the boxing promotion game? Obviously,
yeah, I would say the big thing that surprised me is doing Canelo Crawford. That's,
like
that thing. I just sort of fell into that because that fight has nothing to do with what I'm doing in boxing, which will launch in early 26. But I fell into this thing, and I guess the best thing for me is my first boxing match ever, and I'm doing Canelo Crawford, and I actually really like both guys, which is fun for me because you don't always like these guys. It's a fact, and I don't ever act like I like everybody and everybody's all. It's not true. Sometimes you get in a deal with these guys that they're not fun to be with, and you don't like them. These guys are both great guys. This is an incredible fight. I love that this fight is happening, and I also love the challenge of the live event at Allegiant Stadium, because I've always said how much I don't like fights in stadiums. So I now and my team have the challenge of making this thing a great live experience. It'll look awesome on TV. That's what we do every freaking Saturday. So, but how do we make this event incredible? Like when the people leave Allegiant Stadium Saturday night, they're like, God damn, this was a good event.
Yeah. Did you take anything from WrestleMania, being there at Allegiant Stadium? Take any cues or any ideas?
No, not really. But what I did take was, they sold that thing out 2 nights in a row, which is badass. It's unbelievable. But no, nothing production wise. I'm the complete opposite of what WWE does.
I'm not going to lie. When they cut to you on the screen, I was there in the building, and I would have killed to just know what your inner monologue was during WrestleMania, just to be a fly on the wall for Dana White's WrestleMania thoughts.
Yeah, listen, it's not my thing, but man, it's impressive when you go and see the amount of people that are involved and the fan base and how passionate they are, and and what the WWE has been able to do with WrestleMania, turning it into what it is today is incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah. And obviously you said the Canelo Crawford fight isn't like what you're getting into boxing for, but could you see yourself, kind of co-promoting or helping events like this in the future if, this one goes well?
I don't know. I would take it on a case-by-case basis. But the reality is I like Turkey. So I like Turkey, and I like what he's doing for the sport of boxing. When you think about what he's doing for the sport, the other promoters, the fighters, I mean, everybody that's involved, the tide has risen thanks to what Turkey and the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia have done. And it took that kind of power and money to do it.
Yeah. I also saw a couple of videos lately about your recent collecting, the 130,000 Mike Tyson's Punch Out, the new card collection, the meteor that you sent David Spade. It seems like maybe you're up in the collector game. Is there anything new? Any new big ticket items or items you got your eyes on? You could tell us about?
The meteors. I've had the meteors for a while. The meteors I've had for a while. And I'm sure you saw Joe Dirt where he thinks he's got a meteor. So I sent one to David Spade. I said, "Hey, Joe Dirt, now you actually own a real meteor." But yeah, the card collecting is new for me. We did a deal with Tops, the UFC cards. So the UFC cards, we started that deal with them. Eric, my right hand social media man, we started doing the Rip It Fridays, and the value of these cards immediately went like this. And every Friday we give those cards away to the fans. We've given away. What's the most expensive card we've given away?
The Mourinho $5,000 card.
5,000.
Oh no, Jon Jones. Jon Jones.
Well, what about the soccer player?
That was him.
Okay.
Jon Jones rookie auto.
How much was that?
Maybe
$10,000 Jon Jones card. Yeah.
Crazy.
And I don't give a shit what we pull. Whatever we pull, I'm giving away to the fans. So
yeah,
it's doing the card thing. It's kind of like gambling. So it's no fucking shocker that I actually. But speaking of gambling, when's your wedding?
October 2026. We got the venue thanks to the gambling money.
All right, October 2026. Awesome.
Yeah,
congrats.
I'll send you. I'll send the invite when they come out. Of course.
All right, I would be honored.
Any Tunnel of Chaos stories? Speaking of that, recently, any crazy nights?
Yeah. So last time, Power Slap, we had a big night that night. But 2 nights ago, I'm eating at Red Rock, and I won't use any names or any whatever, but there's this guy that plays there, and he's in a wheelchair. And nice guy. I always see him. We say hi to each other, and he's there with his daughters. He comes over to me and says, "Hey, Dana, I'm down $1 million," and hands me $175,000 in chips and says, "Can you help me get out?" And he can only play 25,000 a hand. So I sat there for 4 hours, not last night, but the night before, and we got him out of the hole $1 million. So,
oh my God,
what
a rush! Do you get more of a rush for helping other people get out of the hole than helping yourself? Almost.
I like it all. If I can help, I like it. If I can win it for me, I like it too.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. That's a great story. Wow, that's crazy. Did it
2 nights
4
ago?
hours?
Yeah.
It took?
4 hours.
Wow. Unbelievable. All right, Dana, I'm very grateful for the time. Very much looking forward to this Saturday night, UFC 318. I'll be watching, and hope everyone else is as well. It's going to be a great card.
Always a pleasure, buddy. Have a great day.